We want to thank you all for coming today. I'm Ann LeClaire with the San Mateo County Silicon Valley Convention and Visitors Bureau. We want to start by thanking our Crown Plaza, Foster City, San Mateo friends. Owner Solomon Tsai is here, front and center. No heckling, please. That's right. Scott and Dina Castle, the GM and DOS, are away, but we want to thank Joni Spencer Trefzer, Director of Catering, for all of her help on the event. Thank you very much, and your team. I'd like to recognize some elected officials. After we scheduled today's date, we found out that the California League of Cities is doing mayoral and city council member training today. So we're missing a few, but we appreciate those who've been around the block and have made it here today. Please hold your applause. From South San Francisco, Mayor Carol Matsumoto and Vice Mayor Rich Garbarino. There. That's their table now. From Daly City, Mayor David Canepa and Councilmember Michael Gingona. From Burlingame, Mayor Michael Brownrigg and new council member Ricardo Ortiz. From State Senator Jerry Hill's office, District Director Mark Hirschman. District Representative for Assemblyman Kevin Mullen, Joe Fazio is here, I believe. Yeah, good. Communications Director for Assemblyman Rich Gordon, Margot Grant is here. Thank you. County Manager John Maltby is here. I know I saw him. Is he waving? Who sees him? There he is. The bow tie. Why don't you wave, John? So we know. And I thought it was great today. I just saw Regina Stroud, president of Skyline College, and we worked with Skyline on a grant for a regional, it's actually a Northern California tourism and hospitality training program and retail. And so thank you for being here, Regina, and thank you for working so hard on that grant and making it happen. We have some great representation and support from chamber CEOs here today. From Burlingame Chamber, Georgette Naylor. From the Foster City Chamber, Joanne Bohegian. Are they waving as I say? From the Half Moon Bay Chamber and Visitors Bureau, Charisse McHugh. From the Pacifica Chamber and Visitors Bureau, Courtney Conlon. From the San Mateo Chamber, Cheryl Angelis. From South San Francisco Chamber, Maria Martinucci. Which I knew it was going to come from that table. How did I guess? We also want to recognize the Industry Relations Liaison for Visit California, Amy Blaschka, who came today, and some representatives from SAMCETA. So let's give all of these people a big round of applause for being here. We have more thank yous. Please hold your applause. Many of you saw the produce laid outside. Some of us forget that we are an agricultural region as well as a hospitality region. And Bill Gass and the San Mateo County Farm Bureau picked up all that produce that was donated by John Giusti of Giusti Farms. We want to recognize Don McMahon, Farm Bureau Board President as well, for being here, and thank you so much for your support with all that produce. You are free to, not now, but after the meeting, there are bags there. Please take some samples of those Brussels sprouts and artichokes with you. Now, again, please hold your applause. We want to thank our DJ today, Dave Patterson of Domicile Entertainment. We encourage all of you, particularly you hotel people, to use people like Dave. He's been so accommodating and great. Scott Bushman, photography. You've seen Scott for years, does a great job. He eliminates the incriminating pictures. Yeah, I know, I saw that. Does a great job. Peninsula TV, we want to thank them for being here, and we encourage all of you, there's information on your tables. It's San Mateo County's cable TV network, and it will not only show on the network, but be live streamed. It's going to be on the website, and there's a way you can check when it will be aired. So for you award winners as well, you're going to want to see that. The Arcangeli Grocery Company in Pescadero supplied the rolls, their famous garlic artichoke bread that they make into rolls just for us for this meeting. And if you're loving it, that's available online. You can order their bread online. Centerpieces by Greenworks. And we have a gift for you on your tables from the Bureau, amazing biscotti from Mazzetti's Bakery in Pacifica. And they specialize in baked goods for groups. And you can tell how great they look. Today's wines are from Thomas Fogarty. It's a 2008 Santa Cruz Mountain Chardonnay. And from La Honda Winery, a 2011 Santa Cruz Mountains Exponent Red Blend. We encourage you to buy and carry their wines, as well as Bartera, Woodside, and La Nebbia wines. Let's support our local vineyards. One more thing, I want to thank our table sponsors. Again, please hold your applause. We couldn't do this without them. Boston Private Bank and Trust Company, Crown Plaza, Foster City, San Mateo, our hosts, Embassy Suites South San Francisco and Embassy Suites SFO Waterfront, Enterprise Rent-A-Car, Hyatt Regency San Francisco Airport, Pacifica Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors, San Francisco International Airport, SFO Marriott Waterfront, Sofitel San Francisco Bay, 2 tables, and the South San Francisco Conference Center and Conference Authority Board. Let's give them all a round of applause for their support. With that, we'd like you to enjoy your lunches, please, and we'll be back at about 12:20 with the program. Thank you. I want to start by thanking our board of directors from the past year. I have a slide of them. This year we didn't have to Photoshop anyone in, luckily. We've had some odd ones in years past. You couldn't ask for a greater board. I know many people go out of town and are critical of their boards. I feel very blessed. We have a great group, very supportive, always willing to take a risk, look good in a picture for the most part. I want to particularly thank Derek, who was our chair this past year. Again, very supportive, very positive, makes time to do things for the Bureau, which we certainly appreciate. The people who make things work on a day-to-day basis are the Bureau team members. Please hold your applause. I'd like to introduce each one, and please stand as I call your names alphabetically so people can identify, put a face with the names. Carol Lee Adams, our Senior Sales Manager, Sacramento. Gina Allhands, Chief Finance and Technology Officer. Our Film Commissioner, Brenna Bailey, is away on family business. Yolanda Bonilla, who comes in 1 day a week working on FAMs and special projects. Tapo Brown, Director of Sales. Jessica Campbell, Convention Services Manager, who worked very hard on today. Carla Cruz, Sales Manager, Affinity Markets. Mary DeRosa, who comes in part-time doing anything and everything for projects, project support, multiple projects. Stephanie Furman, Media and PR Manager. Was that Stephanie cheering for herself? It sounded like your voice. That's okay. That's okay. I don't blame you. Cynthia Garcia, Executive Assistant for the sales team and also handling banquet and film leads. Laura Garrett, our Sales Manager handling sports and West Coast associations. Natalie Ortiz Ramos, our Senior Sales Manager out of DC, handling the East Coast, had her flight canceled, so she's snowed in. Rochelle Patella, Manager of our California Welcome Center and Visitor Publications, and working our slideshow and did so much of the graphics, the great work for today. Nina Ramos, Director of International and Leisure Markets. Carol Self, Executive Assistant and Project Manager. You've seen her name on an awful lot of emails from us, I'm sure, and we'll continue to. Quincy Smith, our Midwest Sales Manager out of Chicago. And let's give them all a big round of applause. Thank you all for all you do. We have 2 outgoing board members, neither of whom could be here today, but we're going to get their plaques to them, Scott Castle and Larry Ivich. We want to thank them for their service to the Bureau. At this point, it is my pleasure to introduce past chair. Did he tell you to play it early just so I wouldn't say anything about him? Past chair Barry Unger, 2012 chair, who was at the Super Bowl last year for the annual meeting and couldn't make it. So, Barry.
Hello all, welcome and thank you for coming today. I'm here to outline some of the accomplishments of Derek's term this last year as chairman of our board. We've achieved over 100% of our sales goals for 2013. We have successfully secured over 7,500 room nights for Super Bowl 50, which Pat Gallagher is going to be talking about a little bit later on in our program today. We have brought in a record number of planners, tours, and travel operators, travel agents from all around the world, exponentially increasing the exposure for our area. We have sought and recruited more filming days and accompanying room nights for commercials, targeting the most influential producers and scouts of our industry. We increased outreach to area parks and recs department in order to create an accurate, detailed sports marketing guide. And we also escorted numerous travel writers and photographers through the area, recruiting in a great deal of ink and online exposure. Business can't be better than it's been the last 12 months in San Mateo County, and it's going to continue to get better. And a lot of it is just through all the efforts that our board has gone through, led by Derek Hudson. So Derek, you'd come up. So we want to make a presentation of the gift to Derek. There you go. And also presenting the symbolic gavel to Derek, which we never use in our meetings, by the way.
All right, thank you, Barry, and thank you to the board and everyone. Thank you for coming today. I appreciate that. My name is Derek Hudson. I'm with the Hilton Garden Inn San Mateo. I am the chair of the board for 2013 and then the new one for 2014. I didn't realize it was a 2-year term, but somehow Ann convinced me. And I wanted to go through and introduce the current bureau officers and the incoming ones. So if you'd please hold your applause till the end again. We have John Hutar with the Sofitel. If you'd please stand up. Barry with the Dillon at SFO in Millbrae. Secretary Dana Dahl with the Beach House Hotel in Half Moon Bay. Treasurer Mitch Postal with the San Mateo County History Museum. Vice Chair Candace Bender, I believe, had a last-minute commitment come up. Vice Chair Cliff Clark of SFO Marriott Waterfront. We have Vice Chair Jeff Bass with Hiller Aviation Museum. Vice Chair Ernie Catanzaro with the Embassy Suites in Burlingame. He's over there. Vice Chair Marty Searles with Best Western Plus Lighthouse in Pacifica. And then our directors, Keith Butts with the Hyatt Regency in Burlingame. Chris Carpenter, San Mateo County Event Center. Ed Gunderson with the San Mateo Marriott. I believe he had his owners in town. I don't think he was going to make it today. Chris Hill with La Quinta Inn in San Francisco Airport North, South San Francisco. John Kalitis with the Hilton Burlingame. Christine Kupchak with the Hillsdale Shopping Center. Linda Larson with Tanfran Shopping Center, General Manager. Eric Lochtefeld with the Fox Theater. Let's see, Rudy Ortiz with the Embassy Suites, South San Francisco. I believe he had a family emergency come up, so he couldn't make it at the last moment. Tom Scaramolino with the Westin SFO and a loft in Millbrae. Scott Vaccaro with Embassy Enterprise Rent-A-Car. And then Yakub Yakubi, the Marriott Courtyard in Foster City. Okay, thank you all. And then I'd like to outline the plans that we have for 2014 with the Bureau, just to highlight a few of the items. For 2014, we're going to look at corporate meetings as well as associations and affinity meetings and sporting events, and we'll continue to have those as our targets. We will continue our outreach to meeting planners, doing nearly 50 trade shows in the U.S. and overseas, conducting FAM tours and site tours, and holding client events in key markets. We will conduct even more international FAM tours for tour and travel operators and top producing travel agents, as well as more sales missions overseas with one-on-one appointments. We will have a new, stronger focus on outreach to travel writers, which has been very successful for us, and photographers, issuing even more editorial to target publications. And then we're going to also capitalize on the interest in the 49er Stadium, working with the Bureau partners to the south and to the north to bring major events to the stadium. And we look forward to all of these endeavors in 2014. Okay, moving along, wanted to acknowledge Props Award Committee Chair John Hutar of the Sofitel Hotel. John, if you'd like to come up here. And then also, I guess Anne's going to come up with the props award. She's going to read off the winners, and then we'll go ahead and give those out to people.
So these two handsome gentlemen are going to do the grip and grin. I'm going to announce the honorable mentions first for our props awards. The awards were the idea of John Hutar a couple years ago to acknowledge people in the hospitality industry who are not often acknowledged. They're not front and center. They're not often seen by the clients or by the hospitality industry in general, and we really want to acknowledge them. It was a great idea. So first we will do honorable mentions for unsung heroes. And as I call your name, please come up and we'll take a picture of you getting the certificate. Unsung hero honorable mention goes to Gabriela Melgoza, server at the Hotel Sofitel. John, would you like to stay in the pictures? She's acknowledged for the special attention she gives to guests, including making and delivering a special lemon tea to guests she knows are ill. Congratulations to Gabriela. You can just do it by yourself. The next honorable mention for an unsung hero goes to Joyce Luo, supervisor at the Moonstar Restaurant, for the outstanding customer service she gives to tour groups, as well as her detailed attention to groups' dietary restrictions. Congratulations, Joyce. I don't know, all of Moonstar's here. Who's running the restaurant today? I can't figure that out. The next honorable mention in this category goes to Matthew Poole, restaurant server, Hotel Sofitel, San Francisco Bay, for his special attention to guests, his personalized service, and including birthday and get well cards. And the next unsung hero honorable mention goes to Yo-Yo Chen, senior supervisor, Moonstar Restaurant, for her outstanding customer service and ability to instantly know a tour guide's name and company. Honorable mentions for behind-the-scenes service. Horacio Prieto, banquet captain, South San Francisco Conference Center, for his strong work ethic, cheerful nature, and willingness to assist even on his days off. See? See here? Hey, we'll make sure we get his award to him. Next, for behind-the-scenes service, honorable mention goes to Maria Zavala, laundry attendant, Hotel Sofitel, for her work ethic, reliability, and passion for the industry. Another honorable mention, behind-the-scenes service, Terry Ching, Hyatt Regency SFO, on the guest services team, for her dedication to customers and most particularly, Terry and the staff's tremendous assistance to a regular guest when her dog became seriously ill. Yeah, all the dog lovers, of course. Yeah. Honorable mention in the Innovation and Hospitality category goes to Harry Hayes, Chief Engineer, Sofitel San Francisco Bay, for implementing the energy-efficient upgrades and equipment throughout the newly remodeled hotel. And Harry's certificate will be brought to him. He's busy wiring things at the hotel. Okay, we're good with that. And finally, not present, but certainly we want to acknowledge them, the honorable mention in community service goes to Paul and Julie Schenkman, owners of Sam's Chowder House, for paying the $8,000 tax bill for Moss Beach Park, saving the park. Let's give them all a big round of applause. And now we go on to the props winners. The winners will each receive an engraved award, a $500 check, and a gift certificate. Two winners will receive a gift certificate for dinner for two at Hanger Steak, thanks to the SFO Marriott Waterfront. One will receive a gift certificate for champagne brunch for four at the Hyatt, courtesy of the Hyatt. And one will receive a gift certificate for dinner for two at the Sofitel San Francisco Bay, courtesy of the Sofitel. We thank the hotels for their prize donations. Are the award winners ready? We have a little mood music for the winners. All right, that's good. We get the idea right. Okay. You're all wondering how long you had to sit through this song. Okay. We're going to introduce first the winner of the Innovation in Hospitality Award. The winner is Danny Tam, manager of the Moonstar Restaurant. Let me tell you a little bit about Danny as he walks up. He's been with the Moonstar Restaurant for 19 years and is now manager, having previously served as busboy, waiter, and supervisor. One of his major roles is to ensure that every customer receives the highest quality customer service. Since Moonstar has been a tourist destination since the 90s, they have a large number of group reservations. It was Danny who created a master plan to feed as many as 425 people in 10 different buses at one time, coming up with a system to collect numbers and coordinate all the buses, and it's a staple of the restaurant now. So thank you, congratulations. The next award is the Outstanding Community Service Award, which goes to Anthony Silvera. Did Anthony make it? I know he was running a little late before. Is Anthony here? Well, good, perfect. Anthony is the general manager of Tacolicious in Palo Alto. Tacolicious is dedicated to community involvement, donating 15% of proceeds from Monday nights to public schools within that location's neighborhood. In 2013 alone, Tacolicious donated over $200,000 to public schools throughout the Bay Area. Tacolicious Palo Alto, under Anthony's direction, has concentrated on East Palo Alto schools, donating an average of $5,000 a month to local schools. Anthony handles choosing the schools and coordinating logistics with the principal and PTAs. Our congratulations to you, Anthony. And next, our Behind-the-Scenes Service Award goes to Yana Karbashev. Yana is the administrative... Yana is the Administrative Services Assistant at the South San Francisco Conference Center and always willing to go above and beyond. She has done everything from set up special rooms for nursing mothers attending events to running errands to picking up lunches. To help keep costs down when the center was changing the look of its public space, Yana personally purchased plants and assisted with the planting. She rolled up her sleeves and got dirty with a smile. She genuinely loves helping her team. When the sales team is out of the office or with another client, Yana will even assist by giving site tours herself. It's our pleasure to award the Behind-the-Scenes Service Award to Yana Karbashev. And finally, the Unsung Hero Service Award this year goes to Victoria Wong with the Moonstar Restaurant. Victoria has been with Moonstar for 13 years and is now supervisor, having previously worked as cashier, hostess, and waitress. Her role is to ensure each customer's satisfaction and safety. Whenever there's an accident, such as a burn, Victoria will personally attend to the injured party with care with her handy first aid box. For visitors, she'll even pack a bag with care supplies for them to take with them. She'll even call a visitor at his hotel and make sure he or she is improving. She's even taken people personally to the doctor's office. It's a long description, and I got it down. She also translates and speaks multiple languages and goes above and beyond the call of duty. Congratulations. We have another award that became a tradition for us starting in 2009, and it's particularly special to those of us at the Bureau because it's named after an employee who worked at the Bureau for over 25 years and retired, Margie Grant. It's named the Margie Grant Heart of Hospitality Award. Named after Margie because she put heart and soul into everything she did for the Bureau and saw them through some tough times, good times, bad times, and was very dedicated. It's given each year to a person who selflessly devotes his or her time to helping our industry, going above and beyond anything required in his or her job. This year's winner in our tradition has no idea that he or she will be honored today. We'll just give you some clues as we go along. So here we go. This person has retired from a profession totally unrelated to the hospitality industry. This person has never said no to any request from any organization to which he/she belongs. This person has held numerous volunteer leaderships in all kinds of organizations. This person is a natural athlete. He, yes, he, has chaired numerous athletic events. This man helped our organization on 3 separate occasions to bring business to our hotels and restaurants and rental car agencies by steering room nights for San Francisco events to San Mateo County. This person is left-handed. Let's see, and now he knows who it is. This person made it possible for us to get our foot in the door with the USGA's US Open event team, leading to our being the rooms provider for volunteers, corporate sponsors, vendors, and attendees from all over the world. No 4-letter words on the broadcast. Prior to the US Open, this person brought us the rooms for a major NCAA golf competition. In 2013, this person once again helped us by bringing the rooms for the new prestigious USGA 4-ball golf competition to us. I'm proud to call him a friend, very happy to surprise him, and very happy to reveal the name of this year's winner, Mark Avalar. Please come up, Mark.
Thank you. Oh, yeah, I thought we were friends. Thanks, Scott.
Do you want to say anything?
Huh?
Oh, feel free to say something.
Feel free. And you know the one that wins is the one that gets the mic last, right? Well, I am shocked and stunned, and I'm very grateful and thankful to the Bureau. It was a great partnership that we worked with the Bureau on, as Ann mentioned, several events with the USGA. I guess I would leave you with 2 thoughts. One more personal to Ann, and that is I will get even. And number 2 is we're working on events to, in the future. We got the 2015 United States 4-ball, which will be the first ever of that event sponsored by the USGA. That'll be here. And certainly San Mateo County is going to be involved. And we're in early discussions for the return of the U.S. Open to this area again sometime down the line, and we look forward to that as well. Thank you all.
All right. So now for our main speaker for today. You may not be aware that there's a table tent on your table tent card on your table that has information on the inside about our speaker, Pat Gallagher. And boy, this guy's done a lot of stuff here. So Pat Gallagher is the Executive Vice President of Marketing, Partnerships, and Communication for the San Francisco Super Bowl Host Committee. In this role, Gallagher is responsible for all the marketing partnerships and communications related to the planning, operations, and delivery of Super Bowl 50 and the activities leading up to the Super Bowl week in the Bay Area. Gallagher is one of the longest-serving executives in the San Francisco Giants history and is credited with being among the most creative marketing and business minds in professional sports, entertainment, and the visitor industry during his 40-year career. After leaving the Giants in 2010, Pat formed Gallagher and Associates to focus on management, consulting, and concept development in professional sports, technology, entertainment, and the visitor hospitality industries. Recent work includes leading development of the successful Super Bowl 50 bid for 2016, the launch of the Alternative Golf Association, Project Flogton, a startup venture he co-founded developing growth strategies for recreational golf, the Rose Bowl Stadium renovation project, and concept development for the Northland Sports and Entertainment Complex in Canada. Gallagher is also a partner in Seventh Inning Stretch, operator of 3 minor league baseball franchises, and is a frequent speaker on sports management and the visitor industry. Pat was a major contributor to the design and development of the Giants' acclaimed waterfront ballpark, AT&T Park, formerly Pacific Bell Park, creating the park's original marketing plan and securing the naming rights, key corporate partnerships, and establishment of the charter seat license concept, which were foundational elements required to make the first privately financed major league ballpark in over 30 years a reality. As the Giants' Senior Vice President, Business Operations during 23 of the Candlestick Park years, Gallagher gained national recognition for promotional flair with legendary thematic marketing campaigns aimed at selling tickets and generating a personality for the notoriously cold and windy ballpark. Pat was the Giants' first director of marketing in 1976, coming to the club from similar posts at Marine World Africa USA and SeaWorld theme parks, where he got his start in the business as an hourly seasonal employee. He served the city of San Francisco as chairman of the San Francisco Convention and Visitor Bureau, now called San Francisco Travel, first chairman of the city's Tourism Improvement District, and was a founding board member of Major League Baseball Properties, on the board of the California Chamber of Commerce, and president of Big Brothers Big Sisters of Peninsula. Pat and his wife, Joan, have a son, Murphy, and a daughter, Katie. The Gallaghers make their home in Stinson Beach, California. Come on up. Thank you.
I think that introduction is going to take as long as my speech. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me here today. Can you hear me okay? First, I'd like to say I'd really like to congratulate all of you for the props program to recognize all the people, all the unsung heroes that are in the hospitality industry, because they're the ones that actually make it all happen. So, I don't know, I think they all deserve another round of applause. So. About a year ago, Mayor of San Francisco, Ed Lee, who had realized that his football team was moving 40 miles south and they weren't coming back, did something remarkable. He reached out to the 49ers ownership and to the cities on the peninsula and said, we ought to go and try to bid on one of the upcoming Super Bowls. You know, I think San Francisco has been ready to host a Super Bowl for many years, but, you know, have had a problem in that we've never had a place to play. And I speak fondly of Candlestick. I spent 22 years trying to get people to buy baseball tickets there. So my hair was jet black when I started that job. So we actually put a bid together to go after the Super Bowl. So I'm going to take some time. I'm going to tell you about the bid process. I will tell you a little bit about the 50th Super Bowl. We have the 50th Super Bowl, the golden anniversary. Talk about some of what our goals are, how we're approaching it, sort of what the local opportunity here is, and then I'll have some time for questions as well. So we actually put together a bid right at this time last year, and you know, it's interesting putting together a bid for anything. You know, the Bay Area, the place where we all live and work, I mean, it's not known necessarily for collaborating on a lot of stuff. I mean, there have been failed bids on the Olympics. Actually, there have been failed bids on several Super Bowls before. So the idea was here not only to try to satisfy the National Football League and make it all happen, but to try to get people in the Bay Area to work together. Unfortunately, unlike a lot of other communities in America, there's no municipal spigot that you sort of turn on that helps fund things like this. So we had to figure out a different way to do it. And the mayor was smart enough to appoint a guy who I think you're going to hear lots more from, a guy named Daniel Lurie, who is a special young guy who heads a thing called the Tipping Point community in San Francisco. He's a philanthropist and has done a lot of good for a lot of people in the Bay Area. Perfect guy to head this up. And in turn, Daniel Lurie asked me to get involved. And many of you know Joe D'Alessandro, who's the president of San Francisco Travel, which is the Convention and Visitors Bureau in San Francisco. So it's kind of funny. In 1985, the only Super Bowl that was actually played in the Bay Area, some of you remember, was played down at Stanford University. 1985. This is sort of a different era. I'm told the NFL came in and actually paid rent at the stadium. They paid for everything, and so sort of fast forward now, it's a different story. The first Super Bowl actually was held in California. It was held down in Los Angeles, and so we were bidding on either the 50th or the 51st Super Bowl, and we were competing against Miami, Florida, or Houston, Texas. So we put together a bid, submitted it in May. And made a presentation to the National Football League owners who would make the decision of where the game would be held. And here was our pitch. Here's the basics of our pitch. We said, look, if you're going to celebrate 50 years of Super Bowls and all the tradition and all the things that have happened in the National Football League for 50 years, but more importantly, you're going to look forward to the next 50 years of what's going to happen in the next 50 years, there's really only one place to do that, and it's the center of invention and innovation, which happens to be right here. And we're ready to do it. We not only have world-class city in San Francisco, we have an incredible stadium that a lot of you are going to get a chance to enjoy later on this year in Santa Clara. But we also have a community here that's going to come together and make this thing happen. And it's kind of funny, we actually delivered our pitch. Usually the bid committee has a big, like, 3-ring binder like this where they put all the, it's a 150-page RFP that you put together, and they responded to it. So we decided, we did ours differently. Our bid was on an iPad mini, which is about this big. Now, you'd think that's probably a good idea, but we realized that most of the NFL owners are guys that are like my age, and so you're kind of trying to say, are they going to think it's a cutting board, or are they going to, what are they going to do with it? Anyway, we made our pitch. And a couple things that we added to our pitch, and I'll talk about some of them, but a lot of us got involved in this thing, and Daniel Lurie said, if we're going to do this, we not only have to find a way to get the Bay Area to work together, but there's got to be a reason for all this. I mean, there's only 70,000 people who can actually go to the game. 70,000 people. There's probably 1 million people who can enjoy and participate in all the events. But the 9 million people or so that live in the Bay Area, there's got to be some reason for them to do this and to support this. So we threw a dart and said, okay, we got to raise a lot of money to make this happen, but we're going to commit 25% of every dollar a quarter out of every dollar that we raise, and it's going to go to charity in the Bay Area, so that after this whole circus sort of leaves town, there's something that's left behind that benefits the place where we all live and work. So that was a part of our bid, and we put together a list of an advisory group of a lot of locals, people that you've heard of, but we also had to go out to the corporate community and get their support in something that we didn't really know. In a sense, we were competing against the National Football League because they have all their sponsors. In a sense, competing against Stanford, the 49ers, who are building their new stadium, and they're not only selling seats, but they're selling sponsorships. So we had to go after a new group of people, and we wanted to find a group of companies that would be impressive to the National Football League and sort of show what we were talking about. First company who stepped up was Google. Second company was Apple. Third company was Intel. Fourth company was Yahoo. Fifth company was San Francisco Travel. So we actually went into the bid with pledges. We had companies said, look, if we get this, will you support it in a meaningful way with a financial contribution and also help us develop on the promise of delivering it? So we actually went into the bid with pledges for about $25 million in corporate revenue. We also had some individuals who live in this market who made individual contributions that could pay the expenses, and we went and made the bid to the National Football League. Their selling points not only were the world-class destination in this stadium, but San Francisco and the Bay Area, the whole Bay Area, is one of the most popular travel destinations in the world. So that combined, the National Football League obviously wants things run properly. So that's why I'm getting ready on Monday. I'm headed to New York for the Super Bowl that's going to be held, the first outdoor Super Bowl held in wintertime. So somebody was asking me about it over here, and I go, God, I'm glad I'm not running that one. But they want things to be done right. And what the National Football League cares about is not only the facilities and everything that you have, but their desire is to become a global brand. And they look at San Francisco, they look at Silicon Valley, they look at all the things that we offer, and the companies that have gotten involved, and that's why we were awarded the bid. Let me talk a little bit about this game. I mean, does anybody remember Super Bowl 43? Does anybody remember it? Anybody remember who played in Super Bowl 43, or even where it was? Well, the only reason I mention that is we actually have Super Bowl 50. 50. And we want to make it so that people remember not only who played, but where Super Bowl 50 was. It's the golden anniversary in the Golden State, and we've got it. It's a pretty amazing thing, if you think about it. Also, the Super Bowl, it's the single largest annual sporting event in the world. In the world. Over 1 billion people watch it on television. It's a big deal, and we've got it. And right now, I want to stop for a minute. I'll talk about this. I want to thank all the folks that are in the hospitality industry and the hotel industry, many of them sitting in this room, who helped us put the bid together by blocking out rooms for that, for it. So please give yourselves a hand. So Super Bowl 50 and the organization that we have, we're putting together an organization to actually run Super Bowl 50. We're not necessarily associated, or we're not part of the 49ers organization, but we're transitioning from the committee, the bid committee, to the host committee. And right now we've got 5 employees. It's like a pop-up startup company. We've got 5 employees. We'll eventually get to 40 to 50. Our job is to not only raise the money, develop the plan, develop and pay for all the practice facilities, all the additional seating that'll be added into the stadium, coordinate, all the transportation back and forth, and all the, in essence, we're sort of the NFL's partner on the ground. So we have to deliver to them. They come in and they operate this event. It's going to be in February of 2016. There was some confusion. Somebody said it's in 16. The season where the games are being played will be 15, but it'll be held in February of 2016. The specific dates, and I know a lot of you in the hotel industry are holding a couple of weekends for the game. We'll know sometime next month or in March which of the weekends it is, which will help us all in our planning. So what are our goals with this? Why are we doing this? So we want to create opportunities not only to deliver an incredible event and make it a memorable Super Bowl, but we want to get it back. I mean, part of the reason to do this is to get in the rotation and potentially get it back. And we have the opportunity potentially to bid on it again every 5 to 7 years. So we have a chance, if we do a good job, to make this thing happen. I kind of like to say that this may be one of the first things that the whole Bay Area has agreed on together. So we've really got a chance to make something happen. And none of the communities who are involved in this could do this by themselves. San Francisco couldn't do it by themselves. Santa Clara certainly couldn't do it by themselves. So we all sort of have to work together, which is one of the opportunities and also one of the challenges that we have to keep everybody together. We're going to do an event, and it's not just the game. This is not necessarily about football. Football is sort of the vehicle here. It'll be not only 10 days worth of actual events, so 2 weekends with a bunch of events in between, and there's sort of 2 centers of gravity. One of them is in San Francisco, where a lot of the events, the NFL experience and a lot of the other events. Next week in New York, they're actually closing down 14 blocks of Broadway. Think about that if you're an operations person. 14 blocks of Broadway to hold what they call Super Bowl Boulevard. Our plans, we hope to do a version of that. Moscone Center was where the NFL experience will be. and we hope to take it down Market Street and have our own version down along the waterfront. The other center of gravity is right down here in Santa Clara, where the stadium is, and there'll be a village around the stadium, and a transportation system to get people down there, the 42 miles it is from San Francisco to the new stadium. So our goals, we have to come up with a plan to deliver this in what we say is a flawless way and show that we really know how to do this. We also, as I mentioned, this 25%, our goal was to be the most giving Super Bowl ever. 25% it will stay here in local charities, and it's going to be a big chunk. And a separate organization is being formed, a 501c3, to actually determine how that money will be distributed, communicate what the expectations are, and how that will. But that money will stay here in the Bay Area after this is all over. Super Bowl 50 will give us a way to showcase the best of what we have to offer here. We're talking about all the way up to Napa Valley, south through Monterey Peninsula and Pebble Beach, and east through Sacramento. The visitors that come in from other parts of the country, and in some cases other parts of the world, will have a chance to experience all this, and we'll have to come there. Of the 22,000 hotel rooms that you helped us block, 14,000, almost just under 15,000 of them are in San Francisco, but the rest of them are down here. There's over 70. Ann and I were talking about this. There's at peak, there's about 7,400 hotel rooms that are down here through San Mateo County, Santa Clara County, and San Jose. So a lot of the people who are coming to the Super Bowl are actually going to be staying right down here. So we all have an opportunity to not only to host them, but to take good care of them so we get a chance to get them back. So right now, what our focus is, this is going to be like a 2-year sprint to make this happen. What we're focusing on now is building our little organization. I say we'll get to 40 to 50 people. We also need to recruit 10,000 volunteers of people who want to volunteer. We'll have information that'll come out shortly, who want to help be the hosts and the ambassadors at the different places in the Bay Area. So we'll be communicating that. If any of you or any of the people that you know would like to volunteer to be part of the Super Bowl, it'd be fun. I mean, it's not like the U.S. Open, but it's another way to get involved. So our focus right now is developing our plan, doing our fundraising to get more and more companies involved. And we've got several different levels of how we're doing that. And it's on us. We're sort of doing the heavy lifting right now. We're spending the time talking to companies. But I think the good news is this is not sort of a traditional sports sponsorship. It's not, it's not like what I used to be involved with when I was in Major League Baseball. The companies who are getting involved in this are generally companies who are not involved in the sports industry, but are companies who say, and the pitch was, look, the only way we can do this is if we get the major companies here to do something really special for the place where we all live and where we all work, and then there's a legacy involved in it. So, they should be congratulated as well, and that roster will continue to grow. So we're headed back to New York next week. I think I'm going to take a sweater, I think. Maybe two. We don't know. We don't know what it's going to be like. But it's, in New York, a lot of the events and the hospitality will actually happen in Manhattan, in New York, and the game will be played right across the river in New Jersey. I saw one story this morning. Somebody said, hey, it's actually pretty cool. The river just iced over, so we could actually walk to the game across the river. So we're taking our team of people and some of the sponsors and some of the city officials, not only from San Francisco, but from Santa Clara and elsewhere, back to the Super Bowl to learn as much as we can, get as much institutional knowledge as we can. And that's one of the great things is that Arizona has it next year. We follow them, and then it'll be determined later this year who gets it after us. And we all try to work together to teach each other, how to do it. And not just all the things that went right, but some of the things that maybe we could have improved on. So, bless you. So I think what I'd like to do is, I've given you a lot of information. I hope that some of you have some questions about it. I'll try to answer them all. Anybody have a question about Super Bowl coming? Nobody? Yes.
With all the concerns with the Olympics and security, can you talk a little bit about security?
Yeah, well, actually, that's a great question. The question was about security for the 50th. Actually, it's a much broader question, because one of the companies who got involved with us early on was a company called Boston Consulting Group, who is a management consulting group, and they've just done a project on all the risk management issues of hosting something like this, if you think about it. I mean, it's all the things that you can sort of think about. I mean, there's the natural disasters, there's the things that can be prevented, but security, both security in terms in and around the facilities, but on the transportation vehicles, in and around the events, is obviously going to be a critical piece of this. All eyes of the world are going to be on what we do here. But there's also security issues with respect to technology. I mean, we have to be prepared for all those. And then there's the natural things. I actually was in charge of the events at Candlestick Park on in October of 1989. And so you kind of say, well, an earthquake could never happen. So now what I'm saying is, well, what are the chances of it happening twice? So a big part of our effort will be mitigating as much as we can all of those risks and spreading and as we're growing our team of individuals and also companies and advisors as well. Yes?
When you mentioned volunteering and getting more involved, what's the best way after this to reach out to the organization, get in contact?
Thank you. As far as volunteering, for the next couple of months, we're doing all of our fundraising, putting our plans together. We'll be launching if you look on our website right now, it's just a static page. There'll be an additional page. So we'll actually, if you kind of just pay attention, we will make announcements, and we'll allow people to sign up online. And then the rest of the progression is 2014 is developing all of our plans, solidifying the fundraising, getting all the logistics and the coordination squared away. Once the Super Bowl in Arizona is passed a year from now, then sort of the gun goes off, and this is the 50th Super Bowl, so there'll be a whole year's worth of activities, tours, celebrations, and we're going to encourage people in the Bay Area to celebrate it themselves. I mean, there's a thing that I won't get into, but I'll just mention it. You kind of say, well, what does it all mean for me as a business? Let's say I'm operating a small business somewhere. I'm an event operator, or I'm a florist, or I do security. There's an added element we're calling Business Connect, which will communicate, but what it will allow our small business people, small business owners in the region, to sort of raise their hand and say, I'd like to be considered as a resource for some of these activities, and there'll be a process for them to do it. Doesn't guarantee that it'll happen, but the idea here is to spread the benefit out in the region as much as we can. So just pay attention, and we'll announce our volunteer stuff in the coming months. Yes, back here in the back, way in the back.
Can you speak to the technology in the stadium and the collaboration that happened between those companies that you mentioned?
Yeah, the question was about technology in the stadium. In order to impress people with technology in the new stadium versus Candlestick Park, it's not like a big stretch. I think that the technology in the new stadium will not only allow you to do a lot of things, but it will take care of a lot of the things that sort of the creature comforts that you normally have, whether it's ordering food, merchandise, security, other things. So all that stuff is going to happen in the stadium. Also, in terms of sustainability, Levi Stadium will be the first LEED Platinum sports facility in the world. Now, there'll be others after that, but So in terms of sustainability and how it operates efficiently, this will be the best place ever built when it opens. As far as the technology that, whether you're a ticket holder or whether you're you're looking for wayfinding ways to get around it, or you have a problem, it will have all the modern technology that will allow you to do that. The other piece of it, though, is that, some of us go to games like this to get away from all the technology. It's going to be a great place to watch football. I mean, they actually have more seats in the lower bowl at this new stadium, great seats, than they do in any of the new facilities. So they've really, we all learn something every time you do this, and they've learned and they've gone to school on it, and the facility that they're building right now is totally first rate. And it's going to operate efficiently. They made a statement, which at first I didn't believe, but they're going to actually generate all their electric power from the sun. You kind of say, well, how do you do that? They actually have a way to do that. And it's not like because you say, well, what happens in a night game? Well, they actually have a way of storing all this electric power and powering their facility. And I wish somebody was in 49ers here. I could have them explain it to you. But in terms of the technology, this will be the best one built so far. Over here. The question was about the ticketing. Who will handle all the ticketing? The National Football League will actually handle the distribution of tickets. So the way to look at it from the 49ers standpoint is that obviously they're going to want to have access for some of their ticket holders, but this is a league-wide event. So, and this is something that's really, really interesting. A participating team has never played in a Super Bowl in their home stadium. The closest was Stanford Stadium with the 49ers playing in it in 1985. So the way to look at it is, the way the tickets go is that the participating teams, I think they each get like 5,000 tickets. And then the other tickets around are divvied up among the other teams. And then there are a number of tickets that are put on public sale. And there's a process for that. So they will figure the distribution. The 49ers organization will actually operate the facility for the game. No other questions? No tough questions? You had one right here.
I was just wondering with this template and corporate connections and the exposure that the area would get, if there's any forethought of using that information to maybe entice an Olympics.
Well, that's a great question. The question was, what are our chances of ever getting the Olympics? And I think this is, you're certainly not the first one who's brought that up. I think, we're focusing on the task at hand here. But I think I do think that the Bay Area, I mean, it's an incredible place, but the Bay Area doesn't have a great record of doing a lot of things together. I mean, the Bay is a psychological barrier. It's also a physical barrier. So I think this gives us the opportunity to sort of show that we can do this, show that we can all come together for this. So I think that those in the future, those events are much more realistic, and I hope it happens. Yeah. Yeah, the way to think about it is there's 70,000 and change people who can actually go to the game, okay? But all the events, there's going to be like 200 events around the Bay Area, during the 10 days. About 1 million people can go to the other events, and some of them you have to pay for, some of them you have to have a ticket for, but some of them will be open to the general public. The whole idea is to sort of invite people and engage people to come into town to do that. So this is going to touch a lot of people, and it'll touch people who who may never go to the game. I'll just talk a little bit about technology. You asked about it. Is one of the things Google is going to do as our technology partner is help us with all of our Super Bowl apps to sort of show people how to do it. And like it or not, I mean, doing things on your mobile phone it's here to stay, and it's just going to get more and more prevalent. So we not only wanted wanted the money from our technology partners, but we also wanted their brains to help us figure out a way to deliver on this, in a technology sense, the most digitally forward Super Bowl ever held. So, that good? All right. Thanks so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, Pat. Before we finish up here, I just wanted to highlight the past Heart of Hospitality winners that are here today. If you could just stand briefly. We have Chuck Gust with Nick's Seafood Restaurant. And then Jim Anderson. And Pietro Paravano. Okay, thank you. I want to thank everyone for coming today. And before the board members head out, if you could just make sure and report up front here for pictures, and then also the 4 props winners, if you could come up for pictures as well. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming.